I'm Cameron from Power Team Realty, and today we will be talking about the shifting market. What is a shifting market? Does it apply to me as a buyer, a seller, a renter? Well, yeah, it applies to all of you. On the buying side, we'll dive into. I do have a graph that I'll throw up on the screen here. All right, so this information comes to us from CREA, the Canadian Real Estate Association. We are looking at Canadian numbers that are showing units sold. So single family, semi-detached, condominium, row house, all of the housing types, units sold per month. The black line here is the monthly average from January 2007 all the way to August 2022. As you can see, we did in 2008 have a bit of a housing crisis. I'm sure you remember, I'm sure you heard all about it, but we did recover. So in January, we did start to see a increase in sales in 2009. And then it went up, and then you see the market trends. And as such, it's raised the unit volume. Obviously, each year we're constructing more homes, which does add to this number. Now, it is interesting when you see the pandemic, obviously this big declining mark here is when the pandemic started. So the world was shut down. And so at that time, it was a real wait and see. It did last a few months. By the summer of that year, we did see that the transaction started to increase. You will see in another graphic that in the Greater Moncton area, we actually saw the decrease happen before the pandemic, and then we started to see a slight increase. Now, again, that was fueled more for new construction starts being extremely slow at that time. But what you are seeing here is that the decline and then the boom, and then ultimately January of this year, we started to see the dropping off of monthly sales. Now, don't confuse monthly sales with price, but monthly sales number is a valuable thing to understand when you are looking at days on market. So we're going to dive in to look at the other statistics in just a moment. So now that we've reviewed that graph, what I wanted to simply highlight is that our market is seeing the highest growth across Canada, and we're not really certain on how long or what leveling out even looks like. So when we talk about shifting, we do know that the price was high for a period of time, and now it is dropping by $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 increments per month on all of the housing types. So apartment, single family, semi-detached. So shifting could relate to pricing. In addition, it could mean longer days on market. So as a buyer, one thing that is critical is making sure that it's the right property for you. So what makes a unique property? Well, you probably work with somebody like myself, a realtor, that has come up with a detailed plan that outlines the area, the housing type, as well as the price point. Now, price point is one thing that should be re-examined, and I would recommend visiting your bank just to make sure that affordability has not changed. In some cases, some buyers are now bumped down to a lower price bracket because that interest rate has affected the affordability. So adding that into your plan certainly will help, and that's not going to add any stress down the line when you do write an offer. Into that offer writing process, we are looking at buyers that are writing full conditional offers with inspection, insurance, and finance. On the renting side, perhaps now you might have an opportunity to get into a property with little to no down payment. I have seen in our market the ability of rent to own. So that is something that is a shift. We did not see that for the last 2 years as an option. It is unique and it's not often advertised on realtor.ca. If you do have specific questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Now, on the selling side, what we are seeing is more days on market. And I have a graph here that I will pull up. So we are looking at the Greater Moncton area from 2008 all the way to August 2022. And again, this is home pricing. So as you can see, the number here, 2011, 164. So we stayed in a range for quite a while. And at the apex of May 2022, we saw 340,000 as our blended composite price. So composite pertains to all of the housing types, as you can see here from the drop down. And now what we're starting to see is a slight dropping off. So with the previous graphic that we did see of units being sold, we're seeing an increasing day on market, and we are seeing a slight drop off of price. However, we are still looking at an increased price looking at year over year. So when you look at August, we are still up compared to August of last year. Okay, great. So now that we've reviewed that, we understand that price point certainly is shifting, as well as days on market. There's no question. So what makes up that shift and that understanding of next step would be a detailed plan. So working with somebody like myself, what we can do is we can do a full pricing analysis on the property. And what that's going to entail is a current market value as well as a profit analysis. Now, that's very important because if you are in a unique equity position, selling might be the option or it might not be. Part of any realtor's job is to analyze and give you as much information to take the next step. Information is key and it's going to allow you to make the best decision to move forward for you and your family. Now, in terms of the shift, if you are looking to get top dollar for your property, what I would recommend is tackling some of those small items around the house. Have you considered the curb appeal? I would recommend cleaning the property top to bottom, decluttering as much as you can, and making it more of a generic space. So what I mean by that is personal memorabilia and items that relate to your family. If you do plan on moving, packing them away now would be a good way to reduce any stress, as well as it starts to mentally get you in the process to sell your home. In addition to that, I'd recommend a full property cleanup outside. So if there are any planter beds that are overgrown, if there are any broken items around the property, garbage, debris, things like that, I'd recommend cleaning them up. If you're not able to do it yourself, there are a few amazing services available online that you can call and they can do it for you. It's very simple, very cheap, and it's definitely worth it because somebody viewing your property from the outside is going to form an opinion of what is inside and if they even want to view it. And at this state in the market, it is crucial to get eyes on the property. So with that being said, it is also incredibly important to make sure you have a full marketing offering. High quality professional photos, video, 360 walkthrough, as well as virtual open houses. Now, I know that might sound silly, but a lot of people still enjoy the ability to walk through a house in the privacy of their own home to be able to see things in great detail. So that's something that I offer. It is something that can be tailored one-to-one or can be offered as a clickable link. The more media items you have for a potential buyer to view the property, digest it, make it feel like their own, will allow them to take the next steps mentally to write an offer and potentially close on the property. So I hope that high-level overview of the process does make sense. Now, where things are shifting is we're not sure where pricing will level out or normalize. We do have a rough idea of what cost per foot is for new construction that will factor into the existing units on market. Our area historically was behind national averages and trends. So personally, I don't think that it will drop to where it was pre-pandemic in 2006, 7, and 8. However, I personally believe that one of the factors contributing to slowdown is that people that needed to move did during the pandemic. Perhaps people were bored, they wanted a bigger house, they were able to trade up because mortgage rates were low and they did it. Now it's people that really need to move. So if you're asking yourself is now the right time, gather all the information, use some of the tools in this video, reach out to me if you have any specific questions, and then you'll understand if your decision is right or not. That's all I have today. Thank you.